Title: Russian court slams Navalny with 19 more years. Unusual or business as usual? TLDR: Russian opposition activist Alexey Navalny gets an additional 19-year prison sentence on extremism-related charges, making it the latest in a series of tough penalties against Kremlin critics. The courtroom was even moved to a maximum security prison. Is this justice or just a part of the game in Russian politics? Disclaimer: the following content does not provide legal or political advice. It simply represents the information contained in the story without any recommendations or endorsements from Turned Up News. A courthouse behind bars. In an unexpected twist, the court found it necessary to move the trial of Alexey Navalny, Russia's boldest critic of President Vladimir Putin, inside a maximum security prison in Melikovo, 150 miles east of Moscow. This prison is where Navalny is already confined to a 9-year sentence for fraud and embezzlement. But why? Was the courthouse that overcrowded, or is something more strategic at play here? 19 more years, but why? The latest 19-year sentence was handed down on charges of extremism. But was this a legitimate charge, or just another way to silence Putin's strongest domestic opponent? The trial itself took place behind closed doors, leaving many to wonder what exactly went on inside those secretive walls. The political landscape in Russia continues to confound the average onlooker. Are we missing something, or is this a clear-cut case of political maneuvering? A growing trend of harsh sentences. The sentence is part of an increasing pattern of brutal prison terms against political opponents of the Kremlin. This all coincides with Russia's ongoing war in Ukraine, adding another layer of complexity to an already complicated situation. Is this a reflection of a new, even more, unyielding stance by the government, or just a regular Tuesday in Russian politics? What does it mean for the future of political opposition in the country? Real-life anecdotes: what's it like on the ground? While most of us can only speculate, those living in Russia face the reality of these political chess games daily. The pressure on political opponents, the controversial laws, and the shifting game of power all form part of their lived experience. Could this be a reflection of a broader strategy to consolidate power, or is it simply the unfolding drama of a nation in turmoil? Stories from everyday Russians may provide us with insights, but even they might be left with more questions than answers. Conclusion: unanswered questions and an uncertain future. The additional 19-year sentence on Alexey Navalny seems to echo a growing trend of harsh punishment against political rivals in Russia. With closed-door trials and an unsettling shift in the location of the court itself, one can't help but ponder the underlying motivations. Is this a sign of something more concerning in the Russian political landscape, or simply business as usual? What's the real story behind these convictions? Is it about maintaining law and order, or is it a masterclass in political engineering by the powers that be? Most importantly, what does this mean for the future of political freedom and opposition in Russia? Your thoughts might help unravel this enigmatic puzzle. What do you think?